students, welcome back again with second chapter of civics. In first chapter I explained you about what is civics. Yes, so the second chapter is diversity and discrimination. Students, as you know, in chapter 1 we studied diversity means what? Different, to be diverse. I give you an example of two different pens. Yes, yeah, means one pen is having a blue ink, whereas another pen is gel pen. So both ink are different, but the pen is for a writing of a document. Yes, so diversity means what? Diversity means different. But what about discrimination? So we'll study about in this chapter discrimination means unequal treatment towards someone. Okay, so now let's start with second chapter. Let's see the subtopic of the chapter. How are people different? Diversity, prejudice, stereotype, inequality and discrimination, caste system, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, effects on the constitution, promotion equality, and the last topic will be preamble. So now let's see the first subtopic, that is how are people different. There are many things that make us what we are. That may be how we live in, the language we speak, what we wear. Yeah, this makes different from someone else. The games we play and the things we celebrate. So all these things are influenced, that are being taught by the geography and the history of the place where we live. There is different geography, there is different history of the particular place. Yes, so it is all the things that are influenced by geography and the history of the place that where we live in. And so this makes people different from each other. Now let's see the next clip. A glimpse of India's diversity. Let's see a view of India's diversity. As you know, students, there are 8 major religions in the world. You know that, yes? And every single one of them is practiced in India. We have more than 1600 languages that are people's mother tongue, yes? And more than 100 indigenous dance forms, whether it will be Garba, Kathak or classical dance. These are the various dance forms. So there it is a view of India's diversity that teaches that how the people are different from us and they're unique and their skills and abilities are unique. Yes? How do we celebrate diversity? This diversity is not always celebrated. Why we do not celebrate diversity? Because we feel safe and secure with people who are similar to us. Suppose when you come to the class and when there is a new friend, a newcomer in your class, yes, you will not talk with that person. Till you do not talk with that person, if you do not give efforts to talk or communicate with the person, you will not know where the person comes from, what that person is knowing about, what skills he has or she has. Okay, so this tells us we feel safe and secure with whom we are knowing the person. We may find the people who are different from us as strange and unfamiliar. We may not understand or know the reason why they are different. Why they are different we will not know. Because why? We will not given that much efforts to talk with that person. People also form certain attitudes and opinions about others. So people form a certain attitudes towards that person and opinion about others. And so you feel not that safe and secure with the person who comes new because you don't give that efforts to speak with that person. And so this leads what? Prejudice. When our opinions about certain people are always negative, they are always negative. For example, let me tell you, then this becomes prejudice that we carry about them. You can tell that this person only knows this thing. She cannot do more about it. that negative things, that are negative thoughts, okay, to judge other people negatively or see them as inferior. Yes, how does it arises? When we think that only one particular way is best and right way to do things, we often end up not respecting others. Yeah, so this is what creating an arising of prejudice. Now let me give you an example of prejudice. People can be prejudiced about many things. For example, other people's religious belief, or the color of the skin. This person is black, darker skin, so will not talk with that person. So that is a negative thing. And then that particular thing, what has been occurred, that we are doing an unfair treatment to that particular person. The color of the skin, the region they come from, the language they speak, and the clothes they wear, etc. These are the example of prejudice. Often prejudice can be so strong, like do not want to accept anything in a contrary. We refuse, we reject to become polite or friends with other person, and may even hurt them. So this thing, if there is an unfair treatment or behavior towards someone, this have a negative impression towards that person. Let's give an example of a statement of rural and urban people. So now let's see on rural people. Now what are the difference between what rural people think towards the urban people and what urban people thinks towards the rural people. So now there is an example for it. More than 50% of all Indians live in a village. But people in village do not like to use modern technology. So urban people think that, yeah, rural people, villagers do not use modern technology because they do not like it. So that is an example of prejudice. In the peak harvesting and plantation season, families spend 12 to 14 working in the fields, working out for the fields. And villagers are forced to migrate to the cities in search of work. So this is, we talk about an example of rural people. And now let's talk about the urban people. On urban people. Now what rural people think, that urban people are the laziest people. They spoil everything on the money. They are lazy, sitting in one side and just wasting their money. So life in the city is easy. People here are spoiled and lazy, so they think like the people over here are lazy and spoiled. In the cities, families spend very little time with each other. Okay, so this is what understanding, mutual understanding between what rural and urban people think. So people in cities only care about money, not about people. And living in a city is expensive. A large part of people earning is spent on rent and transport. So this is the difference between rural and urban people, and this was an example of prejudice. Okay, so there are the negative thinking about both of them, that this people is very expensive, they are spoiled and lazy, whereas the villagers people only, they do not take interest in modern technology. So this was about prejudice. Next, let's see gender differences. Now students, let me give you the example of gender differences. A girl was passing by when the boys were playing football. So girl told that I want to play football, and she said that, can I play with you? This boy told, no, you should play with dolls, not with the football. Why? So this act shows it is a gender discrimination. Yes, boys tell that girls should only play with dolls and not with a ball. Yes, so this example shows gender discrimination. Okay, now see, there are various statements often used, described either for boys or girls. They are well behaved, they are soft spoken and gentle, they are physically strong, they are naughty. So these are the statements of gender differences. Now what is gender differences? Boys are often told, don't cry, you are boy. Okay, and it is said, in the society it is said only girls cry and boys should not cry. So this is what a gender difference is. Boys start believing that crying is a sign of weakness, and so this a society creates Things like boys should not cry. Who cry? Girls. So this is not the thing that should be taught. As they grow older, boys learn to teach themselves not to cry. Yeah, because it was being said that boys do not cry. They accept this how boys and girls are without thinking. We fit all boys and girls into an image that society create around us. So that is the society that create around us. So we are fitting into it. Yeah, so this was about gender discrimination. Now it creates about stereotype. What is the stereotype? When we fix people into one image, we created stereotype. Yes? So when society says that boys do not cry, girls cry. That is an example, means that creates a stereotype. People can stereotype others only on a basis like country, religion, gender, race, economic background, etc. So stereotype means it fits to a large number of people into only one pattern or a type. So stereotypes stop us from looking at each person as unique individual. You will not find what is unique in that person, what skills and abilities that person have. So with her own special qualities and skills. Okay, so this was the example of stereotype. So students, in the next part we will study about inequality and discrimination. Students, I hope you have understood the concept. Study well, stay safe. Bye bye.